Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we are finally going to be going over my January Amiami haul, which I'm recording this in March. It'll probably go up early April, so it's been a long time coming. I feel like I've been talking about it for a while, but finally getting around to it. Because the lights in my room are kind of harsh, I just used the natural lighting from outside, and sun's going down right now, so hopefully the lighting's not too bad, but if it is, oops. Anyway, starting off with figure arts, as I like to do, we've got the Shin Kocho Seiho Ultraman Tiga, and this is the power type version. So this is my first figure in the Shin Kocho Seiho line, and from my understanding, these are basically just like their premium tokusatsu figures, with sculpts that are more accurate to the actual suit actors, and slightly better articulation than their regular toku figures. And right off the bat, the box itself does a very premium feel. You've got this sort of indented logo here with a metallic finish, and then a metallic sheen on the back of the box as well. Then I've got the Sky type and multi-type Tigas coming from P Bandai in the near future, I think. I got an email a while ago saying shipping was delayed. There's some sort of like production error, so we'll see when I actually get those. But anyway, power type is probably my favorite of the three Tiga versions, so pretty happy to have gotten this one first, and looking forward to opening it up and seeing what separates these from the regular Ultraman figures I have. Next up, we've got the Romance Dawn version of Sanji, obviously from One Piece. So this is just another version of my favorite One Piece character. He's essentially the same as the Wano version in terms of articulation and stuff, but obviously there's going to be a different look for him. I really wish that this figure came with some Diable Jamba effects, which doesn't have any sort of thing like that, or any kick swooshes or anything, which is a little disappointing. And so I think this guy should have come with those, and then the Wano version actually I think should have come with the Ifrit Jamba effects. Although I don't remember when that figure came out, if that technique had been revealed yet or not. I don't remember. But anyway, on top of that, I also would have liked an alt head or like alt bangs where they're like flared up when he uses that technique. I think that would have been cool. Maybe they're saving that for an eventual Enies Lobby version of Sanji, since that's where he first debuted the Diable Jamba, but we'll see. Another option would be an effect set. So they've already released a few of these. There was the one for Luffy, and then there was the one for like Deku and Bakugo. So it would be kind of cool if they did one for like Sanji and Zoro, for example. So yeah, a couple ideas, couple options, but I just hope that we get something eventually. Then we've got the Haikyuu Kageyama Tobio, and now I can finally have him and Hinata together on the shelf. Kageyama here looks great, just like Hinata is, and with how good these figures are, it really makes me want this line to continue all the more. If we do get more figures, they could even do like a whole quartz diorama piece, which would be pretty cool and a lot of fun, although I have no idea where I would actually put it, but still. So this guy isn't a new figure, but it is new to me. So this is the SH Figure Arts, obviously, Orange Piccolo from Dragon Ball Super Superhero. This one is brought to you, or I should say brought to me, once again thanks to Amiami's pre-owned stock of figures. So I think Beast Gohan and Orange Piccolo are kind of silly forms with silly names, but I still think they're fun, and they work for the movie. I'm interested to see if the anime ever continues, or if the manga ever continues, whether we'll get more from these forms or not. But yeah, as for this figure, this guy is pretty huge, so I'm definitely looking forward to posing him up with other characters. Moving on to Figma, we've got Ayase Momo from Dan Da Dan, and I gotta say, figure arts, eat your heart out. Obviously, don't get me wrong, I still like Bandai, I just showed off a bunch of figures I got from them, but their Dan Da Dan figures were not it, unfortunately. Figma Okorun is great, and Momo looks to be the same, if not even better. It's interesting to see soft goods on a Figma with the pink sweater, but I think it works really well for Momo's designs. Great expressions and accessories as well with this figure. And yeah, this really just makes me want more Dandadan figures. So Figma, please keep the line going, and one day maybe I'll be able to have my man Quinta posed up on the shelf, looking wacky and somehow cool at the same time, as he does. Next up, we've got kind of an atypical figure. It's going to be the EX or X Ride small dinosaur. This is the brown version here. I was really excited for these, and I saved these because I did also get the ash-colored version. And yeah, I mean, obviously everybody loves dinosaurs, right? So how could I not be excited to pick these up? These are actually my first figures from Figma's EX Ride subline. But I really want to get the motorcycle from Cyberpunk, and then when I get the Figma Attack on Titan figures, which I've wanted for a very long time, you know, I need to get some horses for them to ride, right? So, moving on to Medicos, we've got the blue version, or second color version, of Giorno Giovanna. And seeing this guy really takes me back to the first time I read JoJo, which was via Shueisha's colored scans. I'm going to go off on a bit of a tangent here, but don't you guys think it's kind of weird how many people first read JoJo with the colored scans, or, you know, at the very least are recommended to start out that way? I feel like for no other manga would you recommend colored scans. And maybe that's because JoJo's color scans are pretty well done. For the most part, you know, I think they started off a bit rough, and they're currently in a weird state. But after I read the series a few times, I switched to the original black and white version, and have never looked back. Anyway, now my mental image of Giorno is kind of mixed between this blue version, which is what the colored manga went with, and the pink version, which is what we got in the anime. But for the figure itself, it's the same as the pink one, which I do already have. So I already know it's going to be good. But then what I don't have is right here, Gold Experience Requiem. So I appreciate that they split up these re-releases. So we got Pink Giorno and regular Gold Experience that came out in the same month, and then these two that came out in the same month. I think I just need Risotto and Prosciutto, and then I'm going to have all of the Part 5 figures, alt colors aside, which granted accounts for a lot of them. But anyway, moving on to my only pickup from Mafex for this haul. It's going to be the Venom from Let There Be Carnage. And, you know, I knew this was kind of a bigger figure and came with a lot of accessories, but I really did not expect it to be this big. Somehow, in my head, it was all going to fit in like a regular Mafex box. But, no, this thing is pretty huge. I actually have the Figuarts version, but this one kind of seems like the ultimate movie Venom. You've got all these face options, all these different symbiote weapons and accessories. Truth be told, I haven't actually seen the Venom movies. I kind of don't want to because I love Venom and I think that I'll be disappointed by them. But, you know, I can at least appreciate the designs and the figures based on those designs. So yeah, super excited to crack this one open and probably pose it up with my Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. And on that note, it would be really cool to get figures from the Raimi trilogy, but I don't know if anybody except for third parties or you know, other scales like Hot Toys are going to do that at this point. But seeing as how Mafex did new versions of Tobey and Andrew for No Way Home, maybe there's a little bit of hope. And with that last one, we are already moving on to the Holy Grail pickups for this haul. I feel like I'm kind of flying through this video, but that's alright. First up, we've got the Figma Archetype Next, He and She. So these are basically just Figma blank bodies, the updated version, since they did have some older ones that came out even before these. And yeah, so a little backstory on these. Ever since I first saw them in a video by a guy called Overlord Figmori, pretty small figure reviewer that unfortunately doesn't make videos anymore. But anyway, since I saw his video on these figures, I've wanted to get them, and that was like 10 years ago at this point. But I held off for a long time because there are a lot of bootlegs of these guys on the secondhand market. You know, like if you search them up on eBay and stuff, it's pretty hard to tell. And sure, those bootlegs are cheaper and probably not that different in terms of quality, but I just like my stuff to be legit. pretty straightforward. So anyway, to see that Amiami have these guys pre-owned, but if you've seen my other videos, you know that pre-owned doesn't necessarily mean that they're opened or used at all. I was super happy, so decided to pick them up. And I do want to pick up the gray versions as well, and the special edition orange versions too. I think in my February order I've got the gray version of the next She. They didn't have the He, I don't think. But yeah, eventually I'll get them all. And then moving on to our last 3 items, which are all from Figma as well. We've got the Figma Kagami Hidagi from Lucky Star. And you guys might start to see a trend in these Holy Grail sections. A lot of Figmas, and specifically, at least for the next couple, lots of Lucky Star and another series that I won't say yet, but it'll be in the February video. Anyway, this is Figma number 13, which is kind of crazy to think about that compared to where we are now. I double checked and the latest release is number 681, so this line has really come a long way. But that being said, companies like Revoltech and Figuarts have pretty much just been improving over the years, at least on average. Something about these older Figmas really appeals to me, and I think they still hold up really well. I've also been very into like 2000s and 2010s nostalgia lately, you know, like early internet culture, things like that. So these are kind of right there in that same vein, I think. But yeah, one of the OG Figmas, but still looks very good. So, and then for the last 2, we've got more Lucky Star. So we've got Kagame here in her summer uniform. So there's that one. And then we've got the main character, Konata Izumi, also in the summer uniform version. So I'm basically just getting the ones that I can, you know, that I see on Amiami, and then eventually the goal is obviously to get them all. These 2, interestingly, come with alt heads, so you can see there and there, to make different characters out of these figures. But, you know, do I want to get extra copies so I can have them all together on the same shelf? I don't know. I don't really like when companies do this. I would just prefer like a whole separate release. But I guess I also kind of get it because a lot of times they do it for less important characters or background characters, and I'm sure it's, you know, going to be more expensive to do a whole separate release, making it a whole different figure. But yeah, so that'll be TBD, I guess. But for now, just focus on getting the main figures, starting with these 3. Alright, so that was everything that I got in my January Amiami haul. These are my 3 most anticipated pickups. Very exciting stuff, in my opinion, now that I'm finally getting into collecting older Figmas, which I've wanted to do forever. These are basically like the figures that I was seeing and wanting back when I was in middle school, first getting into like import figures, but I had no money and, you know, no real idea where to get stuff like this. So to be able to fulfill those childhood dreams is pretty exciting. And of course, we've got plenty of awesome new figures with more stuff being revealed and released all the time now, it seems. So yeah, pretty exciting time to be a figure collector, although there is a bit of fear of a better option type stuff going on. But generally, I'm having a lot of fun with it. So thanks as always for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you in the next one.